Facebook, we are live. Instagram, I think we are as well. Hey, you guys. So before we get started, I get to ask a lot of times where you all are from, which I love because I've told you before, it's just so cool to see everybody from around the world. But this time I want to ask a different question. For those of you who are dirty hippies like me, and you use essential oils, I have been called dirty hippies, in fact, or a dirty hippie. My son calls me a dirty hippie. I'd love to hear, what is your favorite oil? Just type in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your favorite oil is. My favorite oil, that's like actually not a really fair question. So I apologize because I'm like, oh, well, there's like 82. Balance. I do love balance. Gosh, I don't know, you guys. Like last night, I put Magnolia all over. Vetiver. Ooh, Vetiver is good too. I rolled Magnolia over. It's amazing for sleep. And laid in bed, and my husband kind of came up and snuggled up towards me. He was like, what is that? It's like, it's Magnolia. And he goes, it smells like candy. And he kept saying, it's not going to put me to sleep because it smells like candy. It's giving me any energy. Literally within like 30 seconds, he was almost snoring. So Magnolia is a good one. It's one of my favorites lately. Frankincense, jasmine, yeah. Michelle, yeah, jasmine. Magnolia is so close to your heart. I think that's Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Helichrysum is so comforting. It is. You guys, helichrysum, gosh, so many powerful benefits. One of them is that it instills feelings of confidence. It also stops bleeding. So there's that. There's a lot of cool benefits with that oil. Well, I wanted to ask that question, and I want to keep hearing from you guys. You just continue to tell me what your favorite oil is. Type it in the comments. It's fun to see. But I wanted to bring that up because we're going to talk a little bit about essential oils today. So before we get started, for those of you who are new here, my name is Susan Johnson, and I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm also the founder of the Kick Cancer Movement, where we help kids that have cancer thrive through their treatment. And we use essential oils with them. We teach them about nutrition. We teach them about detoxification and self-care, cleaning up their environment. Yeah, too many favorites. Balance, Serenity, Frank. I know, right? It's like all of them. Hey, thank you guys for saying hi. Thanks for hopping on. So along with being a nutritional therapist, the founder of the Kick Cancer Movement, I'm also a presidential diamond with doTERRA essential oils. And so what that means is that I actually have this beautiful job opportunity where I get paid to teach people about how to improve their health using natural solutions, which is pretty awesome. So I'll share with you a little bit about how we got started with doTERRA, but more what I want to talk about today is why essential oils can actually be really dangerous. And I want to just give you guys some fair warning, and based on just some recent conversations I've had with people, I want to keep you in the loop, keep you in the know, keep you healthy. But will you do me a favor? Will you share this? I think that we've all can agree that essential oils have become really, really popular. And because of that, you have people out there making claims that they shouldn't be making. And then in turn, you have people getting sick. And you hear stories. You can actually Google probably and find 100 horror stories about essential oils. And so they are popular. And I want everybody who is using essential oils, who is thinking about using them, or maybe who's afraid to use them because they've heard some of those stories, I want them to hear this. So go ahead and share. I appreciate it. So what we're going to talk about, why are oils so popular? Oils are popular because they work really quickly. And we are a culture of wanting and desiring a quick fix. So when something goes wrong, we want it to go away. I grew up, and I remember when every time my cycle would come around and I would get cramps, I would just take an ibuprofen because that's what you do. Like, that's what I knew. I wanted a quick fix. I wanted to feel better right then. Now, fast forward years and years and years, all of a sudden I'm a mom and I have kids. And so my quick fix, I start to question. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to give you ibuprofen or Tylenol because there's all these warning labels on the bottle and it's synthetic, probably not really healthy. And so then I was motivated because now I was caring for other people. I was motivated to look into what I was using. And then my son gets cancer. And all of a sudden I am desperate and actually looking for something to save his life, thinking like, oh my gosh, he has cancer. What are we going to do? And I was willing to do whatever it took. So we immediately implemented essential oils. And one thing that we witnessed firsthand is the ability of pure essential oils to take away a symptom like that. So many of you, I would imagine, have had an experience like that, right? You've had an experience, those of you who are using oils, where you've had a headache or you've had a stomach ache or you've walked through anxiety, or you have an injury and you've been able to use an essential oil to rescue you from that symptom, and it works really quickly. So because they work quickly, they've gained popularity. This is a really powerful natural tool. However, here's the downside, and this is what we're going to talk about today, is because of their popularity, you have big companies out there going, "Ooh, we want to cash in on this. Like, this is trendy. We want to get our hands in it." And so you have companies out there making essential oils, making claims that are just plain not true. And so I want to give you an idea and give you a summary of what you need to look for, what you need to be aware of, and the essential oils you want to avoid, okay? I was just talking to a friend on the phone yesterday, and she was telling me that she grabbed a bottle of essential oil from Whole Foods. It was a peppermint oil, and she put a couple drops in her drink. She was in the bathroom not too long after and had an awful bout of diarrhea. And I explained to her that you cannot use and ingest essential oils that you buy at the store. And here's why, you guys. So number one, if you pick up a bottle of essential oil and you look at the front of it, and I'm going to use the example of Whole Foods, not to pick on Whole Foods. I love them. We shop there, but I don't buy my essential oils there. You look at the bottle and it says 100% pure and organic. And then you flip the bottle around and it says do not ingest. Or it says for aromatic purposes only. And you and I could both agree that peppermint is an herb that we can ingest. Peppermint's something that we can use internally. We can also use it topically, and we can use it aromatically. So why would this label say do not ingest? Well, let me tell you exactly why. The majority of essential oil companies out there are producing a product that has less than 3% essential oil. The rest of it is fragrance and carrier oil. So you're getting that bottle that is supposedly 100% pure and organic, and they use the label organic really liberally, especially because organic in the US, we know that the standards are kind of ridiculous, and they can claim pure because, again, the standards for pure in the US are questionable. So you have this bottle that's actually less than 5% essential oil, and the rest of it is fragrance and carrier oil. So you might be thinking right now, okay, so if I'm using an essential oil that says 100% pure and organic, what's so bad about it? Why can't I just use it topically? Well, here's why, you guys. Fragrance by itself is one of the most toxic additives known today. Here's why. There are thousands of different ingredients that are allowed by our government. They are allowed to be put into a label called fragrance because they don't want to categorize them as anything else. Did you know that the majority of those ingredients that can be labeled as fragrance have not even been tested for human safety? Crazy. So please promise me something right now. Promise me that if you have essential oils at your house that you purchased from a store that are labeled different brand, some companies like doTERRA and Young Living is another good oil company. Some companies like doTERRA and Young Living have representatives that can get into a store and they can sell their product in a store. But if it's not one of those two brands, please do me a favor and just don't use it, okay? Get rid of it, don't use it. You cannot be sure that it's totally pure unless you're looking at the label, you talk to the people who are sourcing it, you get your hands a little bit deeper in to figuring out what product this is, where it comes from. And I think a lot of you who are moms, you can agree that before you give your child something, you do that research, right? Before you give your child maybe a new supplement or a natural product or a medication or a vaccination, you usually are so caught up in the fact that you want to make sure that this is the best thing for them that you're going to do your research. So do the same thing, please, with your essential oils. It's so important. So this is where essential oils can be dangerous, as you are now using a product that has been labeled improperly because the FDA has zero control over the essential oil industry because essential oils are natural products. So they don't have control. They can't actually take control of the industry and have accountability measures in place like they would for a food or a drug. So So be aware that when you're looking at essential oils and you're going to be using them, that if you are using an essential oil that has fragrance in it, you are causing yourself more damage than good. So we use doTERRA essential oils, and I decided this week, because I've had so many questions about why did you choose doTERRA? Or more specifically, why can't I just get my essential oils at the health food store? Or another specific question is, why did you choose doTERRA over Young Living? And so I decided to write an article, put it on my blog, susanjohnson.com/blog. For those of you on Facebook paying attention, you can find the link there. It's actually right in the title of this. And I shared why I chose doTERRA essential oils. And remember, you guys, I was in a place of desperation with a child who was being pumped full of toxic chemicals during his cancer treatment. The last thing in the world I wanted was to put something else in his body that could cause him harm. And the things that I have learned since about the companies out there taking shortcuts and putting crap in their bottles of oil is really scary. So I share some of that on the blog, and I answer some of those questions. But I'm going to leave you today with this. I'm going to encourage you to do something. Here's your action item from today, okay? If you have a candle in your house, actually let me know. I want to see, I think you can double tap your screen. I don't know. Again, you guys, I may look like I have it all together and I know what I'm doing because I go live. I don't know how all the other stuff works. So tell me, do you have a candle? Or do you have any plugins, scented plugins in your house? So if you have a candle or you have scented plugins, I'm going to ask you to get rid of those. All that is, you guys, is fragrance. Or do you have scented trash bags? They sell those, by the way, which is horrific. Scented trash bags, that is fragrance. Do you have perfume? Perfume is fragrance. So essential oils are pure. doTERRA's essential oils don't have added fragrance. There's a beautiful aroma that comes naturally from the plant. Some of you may have a perfume that does the same thing. It's maybe a completely natural perfume that comes from the aroma of a plant, and that would be safe. But if anything you have is labeled fragrance, I would encourage you to get rid of it, and get rid of it fast, because it is a toxin that is actually directly linked to autoimmune diseases, to cancers, to all kinds of things. So your action item today is to take all the things in your house, and don't do it all at once. Your husband might kill you or your wife might kill you. Start with candles and with plugins that have fragrance and get rid of them. Do yourself that favor, and you can replace it with essential oils, with the diffuser, putting essential oils in your diffuser to enjoy that aroma as well. Catherine shared that if you have access to the GCMS report, you should be good, correct? Yeah, so Catherine, a lot of companies are now starting to there's more companies coming up, and they're trying to be more transparent with their testing. And we have, if you go to my website, you're going to actually find all the different testings that we do. It links to a lot of that information. With doTERRA specifically, and I'll close with this because I think this is really cool. Speaking of transparency, we have a website called source2you.com. And the whole purpose of this website is to make sure you guys know, and you can be confident that we stand apart, that our oils and our products are above and beyond organic. So we have a little barcode on the bottom of every single bottle, okay? Every single bottle has a barcode, and you can go to source2you.com and you can type in that barcode, and it's going to tell you where the oil came from, what tests the oil went through, and you can dig in even further to learn about the community that oil came from and what doTERRA is doing, their hands and their feet are doing to actually give back to that community. So I touch a lot more on this in the blog. I encourage you to read it. I want you to educate yourself and learn a little bit more about this amazing company that we could not live a day without their products, but also that's allowed us financial freedom, and it's allowed us to start a nonprofit called Kick Cancer, because you trust me and I have a product that I trust that I can sell you. So thank you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day. And if you have more questions, go ahead and shoot me a message. I'm happy to help. But make sure, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and read the blog post. And there's a place to ask questions there as well. I'm happy to help. I hope you guys have an awesome week. We'll see you next week.